Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. We've got our final game of the night, the second match in this best of two series between Newbee and Dreamtime. Game number one, Newbee looking pretty darn good. Just pretty much shutting down Dreamtime at every turn. They let Lycan sneak by, and of course it was first picked by Newbee. Got to ban out that Lycan. That's pretty much the moral of that last game. He just, what do you do? What do you do? You can't stop him. He farms, he kills you, he pushes towers. It was just too much. So let's hop into this draft. Let's see what's going on here as it's already underway. Lycan and the Bat Rider have been banned out by Newbee here, and it will be the Ember Spirit Invoker. These are probably the four scariest heroes in the pool, but DT, they won't hesitate. They'll grab the Nature's Prophet straight away. They want to do a little bit of Rat Dota this time around, and they will have that at their disposal. Newbee will start off with their first two picks on their supports. Ancient Apparition as well as Sand King will be what they grab coming out of the gate. And those have been the two supports hot to trot. That's been the story of WPC tonight, and certainly this series so far. AA and Sand King, a big breakout hero. Rubik, the other, highly sought after support for DT. And, well, just in general, DT will be the ones that pick him up here. So, still pretty open-ended. I keep wanting to say Navi. I don't know why every time I see Newbee, I instantly in my head say Navi. I think I said it in the last game by accident, so I mean to say Newbee. I know Navi is actually playing IG right now in Star Ladder, so it's rather confusing for y'all, and for that I apologize. It is Newbee versus DT. So Nature's Prophet Rubik. They'll have their offlaner, they have their first support. Still kind of hard to gauge how this draft is going to shape up. Both sides pretty open-ended. Interesting to see Newbee with their two supports picked already. I think they should probably ban out some Zhao 8 heroes here. Either Doom or Darkseer would probably be a worthy fourth ban for Dreamtime. They've already taken Mirana out of the pool. Newbee opted to third ban the Chen. Yeah, maybe the Doom. It sort of depends on how DT want this draft to unfold, but they will burn a lot of their bonus time here. They've only got a good 20 seconds left or so, and they'll have to settle on something before too long. They're kind of at that point where there's still some scary heroes around, and you can only ban so many of them. The Mirana does make some sense, a hero that we've seen quite a bit tonight. Newbee has run her to a pretty high degree of success. But they will finally settle on the fourth ban duo, and that is one of those Zhao 8 heroes that he just plays oh so well. He was kind of the big playmaker last game on that Darkseer. Well, they were all big playmakers, but he was one of the big playmakers, setting up kills left and right with vacuums and ion shells, and even just in that laning phase. He pretty much won that top lane. He did have some support from the Earthshaker, and they made some rotations, but as soon as they picked up that kill on the Spectre and the two supports with the Ion Shell, that's when you know that Darkseer is going to be having a fun game as he's killing carries. So, Newbee, we'll see what they want a fourth ban here as well. They'll break into their bonus time and think about what they want. Or what they don't want, rather. What they want to take out of this game. Carry might not be a bad option to ban out. Still just so open-ended for Dreamtime. Rubik and Nature's Prophet. It's hard to gauge how this draft will unfold. Dreamtime could go for kind of a more all-in-y sort of push strat with that Nature's Prophet, or they could opt for something different, but Newbee will settle on banning out the Luna. And after banning out the Chen, I suppose that makes some sense. Two heroes that synergize well with that kind of pushing strat, but Luna just doesn't work as well in this meta. These Chinese teams have been a little bit shaky on that hero. I don't know that DT would have been too interested in grabbing the Luna, but she would have worked well in kind of a pushing strat, and of course she is a hard carry, which they need. Newbee, they'll pick up the Morphling with their third choice, so there's their hard carry. Leaves them with their Zhao 8 and Mu heroes, mid and off lane. Very well could be another Darkseer game if they want to go that route. Works well with the Sand King and AA for setup, and even the Morphling, a lot of burst damage, especially if that Morphling ends up going shotgun. Wouldn't mind seeing a clockwork here as well. This would be a pretty good clockwork game. Oh, Dreamtime. They'll grab EO with their third pick. Yeah, clockwork wouldn't be too bad here if they wanted to throw Xiao 8 on a long-range initiator for that offlane. He does pretty well at dealing with the split push of Nature's Prophet and does isolate Rubik and even can isolate Wisp pretty effectively in team fights. Nyx Assassin may not be a bad choice for Newbee here as well. Another hero that does well to counteract the efforts of the Nature's Prophet and that Rat Dodo style that he likes to play. Once Nyx kind of comes online and has that Vendetta, Nature's Prophet just can't really feel safe pressuring the side lanes unless he has eyes on Nyx. And a good Nyx player will pretty much always keep the Nature's Prophet on his toes. And there you go. Newbee will fourth pick the Nyx Assassin. There's your Xiao 8 hero. He'll be headed to the off lane, and I think a smart choice overall. Dreamtime, probably safe to assume that they'll want to grab something to pair with that Wisp. They need a carry of sorts, or their mid laner. They may opt for a dual lane, but there it is. They'll take Tiny. So the classic Tiny Wisp duo. They could go mid here, or you could just put them up in the safe lane and let that Tiny farm away. Do a little bit of tri-lane with the Rubik. So it sort of depends on how Dreamtime see themselves laning this. But they'll either need a solo mid hero if they want to do kind of a tri-lane, or they'll just need somebody to pair with that Rubik. Some sort of a semi-carry can hold their own in a duo lane. And Mirana actually would have worked out pretty well here for Dreamtime. I think they need some kind of a space creator here to make room for that Tiny and Wisp. Especially if Tiny and Wisp aren't super effective in the laning phase. Like if they pick up a couple of kills or something and they just straight win the tri-lane, they'll be just fine. But if it's a break-even tri-lane, or maybe if Tiny or Wisp take a spill or two early on, they'll need somebody in that mid to create some space. Puck might not be a bad choice. We'll see what Newbee want to ban out here. Puck wouldn't be a bad choice for Newbee to pick up either. Does synergize pretty well with that team fight setup between the AA and the Sand King. Gives them some nice initiation to go with that Nyx Assassin. Dreamtime could also go for a Storm Spirit pick here if they were so inclined. Someone a bit more mobile that can cruise around the map. Okay, Newbee will ban out Viper with their final choice. Another staple mid-hero. And Dreamtime, there you go. They'll ban out Puck. And a smart choice. I think Newbee would have scooped up the Puck happily. Moo plays a pretty mean Puck. We've seen it. And, ooh. I think this last pick here coming out from Newbee will be pretty interesting. Yeah, they need some kind of a mid-hero here. It'll be a Darkseer. So now I'm rather curious how they're going to set up these lanes. This is probably going to be another Xiao 8 Darkseer, so he'll be the off laner. That means it'll probably be a Moo Nyx Assassin headed to the mid lane, and then you'll have this try with the Sand King, Morphling, and Ancient Apparition, and maybe even an aggro try at that. So you could have a safe lane Darkseer. Dreamtime will try the Brewmaster once again, and it worked out okay for them in that second game against Vici Gaming, our fourth game that we had this evening. They did run a solo mid Brewmaster played by Air, and I said it too early, gosh darn it. But Brew just one of these weird heroes right now in our current meta. He can be really powerful if he has a good start, but he is not a hero that plays well from behind. So they need to get some momentum going his way. He can be a space creator. Again, if he does well in this mid lane, he'll be in great shape. If he gets that early blink, grabs a well-timed Ag Scepter, he's just nearly impossible to deal with. But if you shut him down and he doesn't like get his blink dagger till the 15-20 minute window, he's not so scary. Not particularly potent. So will be an interesting game here as we load in. You can see the players getting warmed up. Stretching out those fingers, preparing. Oh yeah, get your food off the table. Apparently that's a rule at WPC. You're allowed to bring drinks and food in, but you're not allowed to put it on the table. We've seen at least like 3 or 4 times a day. It cuts it on the camera, and they say, "Oh shit!" and they tuck it underneath. I don't know what the deal is, but apparently that is a big no-no here at WPC. Let's get some Dota sounds on the mix, and welcome to our final game of the night, ladies and gentlemen. So Newbee will do a 5-man rotation to start things off down to the bottom lane. Looking for a little bit of a jungle invade, perhaps. XDD on the Tiny. He'll be in the front lines. He will scout it out. And DT know it's coming. They should be able to position themselves appropriately. And there you go. That's a Treant from DT. They've got the Nature's Prophet. And that will completely scout out what Newbee are up to. They do put down their first ward. It is an observer here in the lane. And no other wards have come down quite yet. No dedicated junglers, and there you go. Another observer up on the high ground. Give you a little bit of vision around. So that main entryway into the jungle, and then a lane ward as well. Newbee are looking to be aggressive. But let's introduce our rosters here. On the Radiant side, we do have Team DT. Dream time, man. In the bottom lane, they'll have a tri-lane. It'll be Super playing on the Wisp. We'll have Dreamy U playing here on the Rubik. They will be supporting none other than XDD on the Tiny. In the mid, it will be Air on the solo Brewmaster for the second time tonight, and it will be in July in the off lane on this Nature's Prophet. Now, on the Dire side, it will be Team Newbee. Zhao 8 will be playing an off-lane Darkseer. For now, he'll be joined by Banana on that Ancient Apparition. In the mid, that's going to be Moo on the Nyx Assassin. King J on the Sand King, starting off in the Dire jungle. And that means Hao will have a solo safe lane all by his lonesome on this Morph lane. Super. Actually taking a little bit of harassment here from Zhao 8. He will tether back to Tiny, but already down to about half health. Wisp is just so squishy early on. He cannot trade blow for blow like that, even with a Darkseer. Just chunking him down. And Ion Shell comes in, and like last game, Zhao 8 won't be able to do too much to slow down the initial farm from Tiny, but he'll be able to get his own, and we'll see how it goes for him. Last game, Zhao 8 was the big playmaker, and just took a couple of rotations into his lane from the supports to just command and conquer and shut down the carries on the opposite side. Now, another kind of interesting mid matchup here, and we'll see an Impale to start things off. Chilling Touch, but they won't have the damage to secure the kill. Nyx Assassin 4-1 against the 3-1 Brewmaster, so a pretty even lane to get things started. Brew chewing through some of that pooled regeneration. Does have a bottle coming on the Courier with a couple of sentries as well. And the Dire Courier already bringing the bottle, and just going to leave the Courier here. Moo keeping his options open, looking to bottle Crow and spam some more of these Impales. So still pretty even here in the mid lane. Morphling is our last hit leader out of the gate. Not by much, but off to a good start here. Does have his boots already. Ring of Protection to go for that early Basilius. Rather curious to see what build the Morphling goes for. He may go for something a little bit more aggressive than just that Lincoln's. Earlier we saw a kind of a fighting Morphling play from Sylar, where he went the Phase Boots, Ring of Aquila, and then he eventually went into the E-Blade. Didn't even go for the Lincolns whatsoever, just completely skipped it. So we'll see how Hal wants to do it. If they can knock down a few early towers, perhaps he'll just grab a quick Lincolns, but sky's the limit. Pretty quiet early game here. Still no kills coming out. Both sides just sitting back and farming. Tiny 9-3 in CS compared to the 14-4 Morphling. So now Hao is starting to pull ahead a little bit. Already in July, forced back. Just doesn't have the lane presence. He doesn't have eyes on the Newbee supports. He can't poke far enough forward to really contest the Morphling. And he'll hit level 3 and ultimately just retreat into the jungle. And a smart idea. I mean, pretty standard stuff coming out from the Nature's Prophet when you don't have lane control and the creeps are at your enemy tower. You go into the jungle and get a little bit of farm. He'll find a double stack here at the hard camp and leave that for the Tiny or one of his other buddies. And then when we see the creep wave push forward into the Radiant Tier 1 here in the top lane, we'll see the Nature's Prophet port up and clear that up. Oh god, I missed the first blood. I'm so sorry, folks. Getting sleepy here. Darkseer will take a spill down in the bottom lane. Looks like Rubik started off the initiation and just plenty of follow-up from the Tiny. And they do secure that kill. So DT will be the first ones to get the kill on the board. In the mid, Moo taking a little bit of damage, but no kill coming out. Yep, and there you go. Nature's Prophet kills that camp. He TPs into the danger zone. King J and Banana were smoked up, but it will be revealed. They will cut the lane here. Nature's Prophet Treants coming in also. Hal pressing forward, and they will just kill these creeps and see if they can do some damage to the tower. Just unfortunate timing with the way that smoke was revealed. Waveform forward, but in July, just positioned a little bit too well. They do have a siege creep here, chipping away at the tower, force out the glyph on the Radiant side. And down bottom, a double damage rune. Xiao will get cliffed here. How unfortunate. Are they going to be able to do anything out of this? He doesn't have a TP scroll. This is kind of awkward, taking some wisp balls to the face. But I don't know that they'll really be able to punish him too hard here. And they will. That'll be a kill. Nicely done by Dreamy U to set that up, and just absolutely nothing Xiao Wei could do. Just bad placement. Wrong place at the wrong time. Good read from the Rubik. And he'll be headed back to the well. Now Morphling, he'll have phase boots up. A little different here, but phase boot Morphling. Didn't we just see that on the Starlighter stream in that Alliance Empire game? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Silent just did it. And they won the game, so a little bit different, but can't knock it till you try it, I suppose.
Dire's structures are fortified.
DT with a small lead here. Early 2-0 hero kill advantage. They will force out the Dire glyph. Xiao Wei trying to defend as best he can. Only level 4. And may hit level 5 here as he plops an ion shell onto himself. Going to grab some last hits in the tower. In the mid, Moo needs to be a little careful here. There's a sentry. He will get tossed back to the creeps. Nice little play there from the Tiny. But they repel the push. Top tier 1 tower will probably get knocked down by Newbee here. Nature's Prophet not in a position to contest. He's farming away in the jungle.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
No glyph available. And yep, Newbee will secure that first tower kill. It's always great when Morphling's on a team where you can knock down some towers. Especially if you can get some of those early tier 1s. It takes him so long to come online, he really needs that extra bit of gold to have any kind of presence here in the early game. DT starting to group up about the mid, but Moo having an okay time will grab the 6-minute rune. It is an illusion at the bottom position. Still just such a quiet game here. Newbee with a small gold lead, but DT actually have the experience edge. A little bit surprising. I mean, they do have the 2 kills, but that experience edge is a bit more than I thought it would be. How is the big breadwinner? Let's look at the CS. Almost 50 last hits, and the next highest is going to be that Brewmaster with 30. A huge disparity there. And looking at net worth, Morphling already off to the races. That is scary. He's the hard carry here, and when he's already this far ahead, that is a good sign for Newbee, as they take a lead on the heroes that matter in this early game. DT still just farming away. Tiny just about to ding level 6. Has phase boots and a magic wand. Super picked up his soul ring. And in July, looks like he'll be working towards a fast hand to Midas. Brown boots straight into Midas. Has the gloves of haste. And yeah, we're just working towards that recipe. Arcane boots up on the Rubik already. And how? Going that Ring of Aquila. So he is definitely going more of a fighting Morphling build. Not pooling up just for that super fast Lincolns. At least the phase boots Aquila. Looks like he'll try and transition into it now. Ring of Health picked up. So sort of a atypical opening Morphling build here, and then into a more standard Morphling build with what I can only assume will be a Lincoln's. Meanwhile, down bottom, DT will group up for a push, and they might be able to secure themselves their first tower kill of the match. But Newbee, they're ready to respond. Moo pressing forward. He'll isolate super, and he does tether away. Nicely done. Gets the Vendetta, backstab damage. Looking for an Impale. This is a big rotation from DT. This will be a 5-man rotation. Air with a haste rune. Moo off the mark with the Impale, but there's the Burrow Strike. A lot of damage coming out. Sand King first to fall. Nyx goes down shortly after. That will make it 4-0. Rubik will finish off the tower. And Xiao Wei, he gets stunned, but this might even be a back-to-back tower kill coming out for DT. Nice initiation. 5-man rotation. They didn't get it for free. Right now, Hao is just free farming away in the top lane. So, yeah, they get the kills in the tower. A worthy exchange, but they're still giving a lot of space to this Morphling to continue racking up the farm. Looks like Tiny will be going into a Drum of Endurance with a Bracer. Air still pulling up the gold for the fast blink on the Brew, and he's darn close to it. Just a couple of last hits. And he'll be at that 2150 mark, and he'll have a shiny new Blink Dagger sitting in the inventory.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gold graph kind of all over the place here. DT with a small lead in terms of gold. The experience graph still much in their favor. Andamitis is now up on the Nature's Prophet, and there you go. There's that Blink Dagger on the brew.
Tower is under attack.
Newbee getting a bit aggressive here. Smoke on the Nyx Assassin and the Sand King. Double bug, if you will. And they're cruising forward. Vendetta online. Super. Very low on that Wisp. Nyx Assassin just trying to scout it out.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
he'll take
is
the wrong
under
path.
attack.
Oh, they revealed the smoke, though. Rubik popped it, and the Vendetta will reveal it. They know that somebody's around. And Wisp will certainly scoot back to the well. Nyx just in the right place at the right time right there. Morphling still just farming away. About
Radiant's
1,000
bottom
gold
tower is under
ahead
attack.
of the Brewmaster. We'll grab that Perseverance here. And air. Uh-oh. Invisibility rune on. He does blink forward here. In July, TP's in, but there's a way for him into the secret shop. And how? He'll just port out relocation straight away. And he ports out just in the nick of time. Tiny with the avalanche ready. Definitely could have interrupted that TP. Just a little too slow on the relocate. A noble effort from DT, but one of those things. It'll cost him a little bit. Pull the Tiny out of lane, but Wisp able to relocate him back down. Now has the Robe of the Magi, so drums will be the next first real core item on the Tiny. Ancient Apparition, close to that level 6 mark. Sand King, he's only level 4 right now, but he is stacking up the jungle here, and we'll have a little bit of a dance party.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like just a double stack, but that will give him some much-needed experience. He is the lowest level in the game right now. So that is where Newbee is hurting, mostly on their supports. Wisp and Rubik both level 7, and AA and Sand King are level 5 and 4, respectively. So that's really where the big XP disparity is coming in. DT with a smoke in the Radiant jungle. It will be a 4-man train as they rotate across the Roche pit through the mid.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
Looking
bottom
for an
tower
opening.
is
Throw
under
down a
attack.
sentry behind the tower. Glyph comes out for Newbee. They don't have eyes on anyone in the side of DT, and they are suspicious. They'll posture on the high ground for now. They may just opt to sack this tower and wait until they get vision before they feel comfortable initiating.
Dire's middle
Sentries
tower
countering
is under
sentries here.
attack.
And
Dire's
given that
middle
Morphling is
tower
free
has
farming,
fallen.
Newbee is okay with this exchange. That tier 1 tower mid, it was going to fall at some point. If they had an opening to go for it, I'm sure they would have defended. But without eyes on DT, it's just too risky. You don't know where they are. You can't initiate it easily. And they've been pretty on point with sentries, so Nyx can't just wander in and hope for the best. Morphling, he'll get initiated upon up top. Combo from Tiny, he will morph the strength. Wait for him
Radiant's top
into the
tower
trees and
is
just
under
TP's home.
attack.
Good reaction there from Hao. We'll go back to some agility, and Morphling will just go back to farming. 95 CS. Just look at that disparity. 95 CS on the Morphling. Next highest is Tiny with 57. Here at the 12-minute mark, nearly doubling the leading farmer of DT. So that's what I've been talking about. Even though they were able to push down 2 towers, and now DT will pressure the top tier 1. Newbee are okay to trade for it. They need this Morphling to come online, and he's off to a good start. About halfway to that Lincoln Sphere, a little bit more. And they just want to get those items up on him. DT with 3 at the top lane and 2 down bottom. It's the inverse for Newbee. And actually, July taking a lot of damage from that ion-shelled creep. AA ultimate will fly, but off the mark. Air is inbound, though. He's got a Blink Dagger and an ultimate ready. Shao 8, surge back, okay. Once again, it will be Darkseer going for the mech. Can't say I'm too surprised to see that. We saw it last game, and he's just such a good mech carrier. He is the one best suited for it. Radiant side DT, they've got no one even building a mech quite yet. Still a very quiet game. And Morphling almost initiated a pot up top. But Waveform's back. And now Nyx Assassin, he's joining the party. But no kills coming out. Wisp still standing level 7. Tiny now level 8. Will be working towards his Ag Scepter. 1,200 gold. So he'll have a point booster. Wisp actually relocates to the mid. But won't really find much out of it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom is under attack. And that'll just be a siege creep chipping away. DT now with about a 2,500 gold and 2,000 experience lead. There's the mech out on the Darkseer, so maybe Newbee can start fighting now. Maybe they can get a bit more aggressive. How waveforms forward. Sort of just looking to harass a little. There is support for Newbee nearby. Right now just trying to bait with that Morphling. Trying to get that Tiny to overcommit to something. But he won't. He'll just burn that mana on the creeps. See some pings coming out. Air with the blink in the front lines. Might hop over the trees. They've tried to initiate onto How a few times now, and he's just been a little bit too tanky. Waveform onto the other side of the tower, and he'll hop to a replicate. How survives. It will cost Newbee their top tier 1 tower. Maybe they can transition to a tier 1 tower kill of their own in the mid lane. But no, perhaps not. How's still saying about 1,000 gold ahead of the Tiny. But Tiny is starting to close that gap a little bit here. Especially as they continue to knock down towers. Only 1 tier 1 tower remaining for Newbee. 2 now up for DT. So the bottom tower is very, very low.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Airport's in. Blinks forward. Tries to hop onto Zhao 8. Burns the ultimate. There's a relocate coming in from the Wisp. Brings XXD with him. Nice impale from the Nyx. He'll get thrown in the tornado. A lot of damage coming out onto DT. That'll be a dead Tiny. Super falls shortly after. Who's next on the list? It could be this Brew. He goes back into Brewmaster form. Finds a kill on the Sand King, but he'll pay with his own life. Morphling joining the party. He'll grab that kill. That'll be a 3 for 1. Great initiation by Newbee. Nyx Assassin made that whole thing possible. Beautiful 2-man impale as soon as the relocate came in. And that's what set it up for Newbee to turn that fight around. And this fighting Morphling build, he was able to join the party and now has the ultimate orb. And a few more creep kills. He will have himself the Lincoln's recipe. Zhao 8's mech also coming in handy there in that fight, as well as Ancient Apparition's ultimate. So all of the skills that Newbee have really coming into play. King J once again. Just killing some neutrals here, using that Sandstorm, a double Wild Wing Ripper, and a Satyr pack. It's just so easy. Burrow strike on 1. A little bit of a misplay there, but that's all right. Oh, Nature's Prophet. He'll snipe a couple of them. Wow. Great use of those treants. He comes in, Wrath of Nature, and it's just some free gold going the way of Nature's Prophet. That's unfortunate for old Sand King there. Now, in July, he's going pushing mode. He's got himself a Necro book, and they want to knock down some towers. Newbee regaining a little bit of momentum that they lost in this early game. Lincoln's now up on the Morphling. Tiny with first 2 pieces of that Ag Scepter, about 1,200 off. And now Wisp. He's got the Urn, just sitting on a casual Ring of Protection. And already has the Tranquil Boots. Interesting. Probably a Vlad's coming out, I guess, eventually for the Wisp. Brewmaster working on an Ag Scepter as well. And there's his point booster to follow the blink. Ooh, and a blink on the Nyx Assassin also. Core items coming out all over the place for both sides. Newbee seem to be the aggressors, though. They will group up about this bottom lane, and the tier 2 won't make for an easy push, so I'm not really sure where they're headed here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The only one not with him is the Ancient Apparition, but that's alright. He can Ice Blast from afar. DT smoked up behind this bottom tier 2 tower. They're looking for initiation. They'll find it. They'll bump right into him. King J, target of choice, is forced to burrow strike defensively. Looking to channel the ultimate. Mech comes out. Impale from the Nyx. Won't be enough to keep him alive, but Rubik does secure the kill on Sand King. Now Rubik falls as the Morphling wave forms forward. There's the relocate. Zhao Wei takes a spill. It's a 2-for-1 going the way of DT. Nyx does Vendetta back. He's got a haste rune on. Nowhere to go. It does have a TP scroll. Great work from DT, utilizing that relocate to its fullest potential. And a solid 2-for-1. How? Maybe in some trouble. Nope, just not enough damage. Morphling is just too hard to lock down at this point. With the Lincolns, he's just too darn tanky. Tiny should not be able to combo him down unless he's already very low. Necrobook 3 on the Nature's Prophet. Pushing is a reality for Dreamtime.
Warriors of the Wood.
Warriors of the Wood. Ooh, double damage rune on the Nyx. Rubik doing a little bit of counter warding here. Yep. Oh, initiation coming onto Rubik. Walks right into the sentry. He finds Mu, and we'll just telekinesis him back. Oh, Dire Courier gets picked. Well done by In July right there. Lefty going the way of DT. Morphling just got his Ghost Scepter, so. Courier was on the retreat, headed back to the base, but still a good read from In July there, and makes it happen. The big item pickup for DT, though, definitely this Ag Scepter on Tiny. He'll pick up that giant branch and start cleaving all over the place. And this is where things will get a little bit easier. Yes, it does a lot of damage to structures, and is pretty potent when it comes to pushing. So maybe DT will opt to get a bit more aggressive here. They could be waiting on this Brewmaster to get an Ags, but still about 1,200 gold to go. But not terribly close. And Tiny will press up down in the bottom lane. Newbee have a trap set. Double damage rune on the move. Oh, Burrow Strike Epicenter coming out. XDD, he'll get vacuumed. Wisp joining the party. Zhao 8 taking a lot of damage, but there's the relocate out. And Tiny and Wisp survive, at least for now. Maybe they'll come back in. Support is inbound. Morphling did drop the top tier 2 tower before this fight broke out. Zhao 8, he'll get stunned up. Wisp brings back the Tiny. Rubik falls, but so does the Darkseer. Instant buyback from Zhao 8. Next assassin gets converged upon. DT looking okay in this team fight. But now they could be in some trouble. They're committing pretty hard. That'll be the end of Ancient Apparition. He'll buy back as well. Lots of buybacks coming for Newbee. Maybe Rage buybacks. Morphling will pick off the Wisp. I don't think they'll be able to find any more picks here, yeah. Bit of a wasted buyback. Especially that last one, coming from the Ancient Apparition. Don't think he really did too much. Morphling still topping the net worth chart by a pretty decent margin over the Tiny. Looks like he will just go Lincolns into shotgun, pretty standard build. And about 600 away from having the E-Blade. Great timing, great farm on this morph. We've talked about Tony a bit. Ags, drums, phase, and 2200 to spare. Probably looking for Assault Kuras. Rubik in the mid, proxy H, or the Lincolns. But in comes the Sand King. That's a dead Rubik to start this off. Brewmaster gets obliterated shortly after. Didn't have the ultimate available. And now Newbee, they'll transition that into a tier 1 tower. They want to press forward. 2 dead, they want this tier 2. They know Nature's Prophet can't afford to push the top tower. He has to come back. He has to deal with them.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Not doing a ton of damage to this tower, but they will hop forward. They'll find the Wisp, and that'll secure the kill. So they find a 3-for-0 in the mid lane here, and continue to chunk down this tower. Avalanche off the mark in terms of heroes.
Structures are fortified.
Or fortification out on the Radiant side.
Tower is under attack.
Need more
Radiant's
coffee.
middle tower has fallen.
No, I'm still working on it. So, alright, there's the Eagle Song coming out on the Morphling. So, Shotgun is online here right at about exactly the 25-minute mark. And right now, total tower count is 5-4 in favor of Newbee on the Dire side. Gem now picked up by the Sand King, so Newbee will be looking to grab map control, and not a bad idea. If we look at the Radiant ward coverage, there's a lot of them. They've got one up on the high ground plateau, one in the middle of the jungle, one in the top lane, and then they've got another ward down here in the mid, kind of giving them some vision on the other side of the hill. Dire side, on the other hand, they're lacking wards, and Newbee really needs some map control. They've got a ward down here in the Radiant jungle. And Gem out for the Radiant side. No, there is not. Wisp with the early Vlads. Basically, Vlads after Urn. And there's your Egg Scepter on the Brewmaster. So that gives his little spirits there. The Thunderclap, Drunken Haze, and the Drunken Brawler.
Dire's bottom tower
Makes
is
him a
under
bit
attack.
more potent. But now Newbee, they will smoke up. They see a double damage rune. They want it. They will do a wraparound. Or do they want it? Afraid that they'll get revealed or possibly just scouted out if they grab that rune. And they make the right choice just to leave it up. Oh no, Dreamy U. He's going to get caught out again. Rubik has no idea. Oh, he's not. They're going to let him live. They don't move into the lane at the ideal time. And Rubik walks back to safety. Nature's Prophet is starting to get pretty farmed, though. Number 3 on net worth chart behind that of Tiny. And he has himself a Necro Book, BKB, and Hand of Midas. Things coming out on the Roche Pit. Newbee moving into the Roche Pit. And, oh, Brewmaster. You can't solo the world, buddy. Relocate coming in. Newbee have done a lot of damage to Roche, but knowing the Brewmaster's down, doesn't have buyback, makes for a pretty easy Roche. They don't know he doesn't have buyback, but they might be able to assume now. They will press forward, and Roche will fall in just a matter of seconds. How? In the front lines. Will be working towards a Manta next. Has himself the Yasha. Roche falls, and Aegis goes the way of the Morph.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Vacuum forward. They just want to clean up some of these Necro units here, and they'll get a nice little bounty going their way. Moo. Takes a lot of damage, but worth the 200 gold. Looks like the Darkseer will be working towards the Scythe of Ice. Does have the ultimate orb. Did IG just beat Na'Vi? Looks like it. Oh my god, yeah, indeed. And there's a Manta out on Tiny. So, Ags into Manta. Tiny's starting to get pretty powerful. Still trailing this Morphling by a good amount. And there's still a number of squishy heroes that Morphling can just rock with the shotgun. Basically, if he catches Wisp or Rubik, it's a free kill. He can't just shotgun down the Nature's Prophet, but can do a little bit of damage before he BKBs. More than a little. He can do a lot of damage before he BKBs. Looks like Newbee may smoke up. Do they have one? No, maybe they'll just rotate. Who needs smokes when you can just walk? But you have a 5-man squad, though. And that's also now a Manta up on the Morphling.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Oh boy, Dire's courier gets picked off again. I missed it that time. I was looking at chat. That pesky Nature's Prophet. He has been on point with that courier sniping, though. A lot of blink daggers for Newbee. Looks like they have 3. Darkseer, Sand King, and Nyx, all with the positioning tools. And no mech, no force stabs, and no blink daggers on the side of Dream Team. They do have 2 Ag Scepters, though. One on the Tiny and one on the Brewmaster. And they've got a level 3 Necro book, but that lack of mech really does hurt them in these team fights. It is tied up 10-10 here at the 30-minute mark. Gold lead just about zeroed out. Experience going the way of Newbee, but only by about 2,000. So nothing crazy, nothing insurmountable. Move Indebted. Moving around, looking for a potential kill. And he may find Rubik. There's a sentry ward down. He pings it out. Support coming inbound. If Dreamy U comes down, I think he'll die. Vendetta, Impale, AA Ultimate. Oh, they don't even need it. Hal comes in. He'll finish him off with that haste rune. And now Hal, mega kill streak. 5-0 and 4. Another 2,600 gold. He is scary at this point. In July, still trying to rat Dota a little bit.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
But now they'll pick off the Radiant Courier. What the hell's going on in this game?
Pull roots and run.
Uh-oh. They'll catch King J. Burrow strike back. Nyx coming in. How? He'll finish off the Wisp. And now XDD. He's totally out of mana. And this should be a kill on the Tiny. King J coming back in. Vacuum back. Air hops forward. That'll be enough to kill the Sand King. Now Hal, he'll be forced to hop to a replicate. And the ultimate from the Brew, just a little too much. Actually, did he just... No, he got tornadoed, pardon me. Eyes are sleepy. Smorfling is now level 20. Cheese and crackers. Next highest is Tiny at level 16. And we'll have another pause here. Looks like Tiny having some connection issues. So we're just going to take it easy during this pause, guys. I am very quickly running out of fuel here. Trying to suck down the last bits of coffee, but it's been a long night of WPC casting. We started this stream more than 7 hours ago, and we've been going strong. And this is just a slow-paced game. 23 kills in 31 minutes. And on top of that, it has been just a disastrous night in terms of pauses. We have spent so much time just staring at pause screens. Which obviously it's unavoidable if you're having tech issues, but doesn't do much for the adrenaline, man. Well, we've got the go from one side and equals sign from the other. Dota. 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 They're missing a player still. Where the hell did he go? Emergency poop? Look at the newbie guys. Who's that on the far left? Moo. Moo looks about how I look right now. Exhausted and slouching in my chair. Moo does look beat, man. He looks like he stayed up all night gaming. The difference is he's still playing top notch. I think one of the players in the other booth got up. So we're waiting for him to return here, but ugh. Pauses. Yeah, there's some of their players. Or are they? Yeah, there's another computer at the far end. You can't really see the monitor, but DT are like, come on, dude, you should have pooped before the game. I should have pooped before the game. Jeez. All right, DT, say go. Where? Oh, yeah. Look, he's rejoining the booth on the stream, and we've resumed in game. So, yeah, the camera feed's a little bit delayed. So, all right, where were we here? Oh yes, Newbee. We're starting to pressure this bottom tier 2. The last outer tower for DT. And Morphling still looking
Radiant's
pretty
bottom
farmed.
tower
And
is
yeah, this tower just gonna get juiced. He's got his
Radiant's
Manta now.
structures are
They will
fortified.
force out the glyph, but DT won't make a hold here. Nature's Prophet will port back.
Radiant's bottom
Tiny
tower
Wisp
has
just
fallen.
putting some pressure on in the mid lane.
Here's beer in your eye.
And initiation here. There's fear in your eyes. Air. He gets shotgun. There's move with the follow-up.
Dire's structures
Wait for it forward. That's a dead Brewmaster to start this off. I believe he is stuck without buyback. Nope, he'll buy back straight away. Now Hal, taking a lot of damage, will hop back to the replicate. And he'll TP home. Meanwhile, up top, Tiny and Wisp pressuring this base, but they will relocate out. The Wisp will play Sacrificial Lamb. And should die. I don't think he'll bring his friend back with him. How did he do that? How did he do that? The Wisp, he just relocated back and then... Did I miss something? How did he do that? Twitch chat, please explain. Seriously, he relocated out the Tiny. The little dot was on the ground. He popped back and then he instantly just like scooted back here. How the hell did he do that? It looked like a Chen send back, except there's no Chen.
Dire's
What the
bottom
fuck was
tower
that?
is under attack.
Magic Wisp. Yeah, that was magic.
Dire's bottom
Seriously.
tower has fallen.
Like, am I forgetting an ability here? What does Rubik have stolen? Waveform? Yeah, that's not going to do much. What the hell? I've never seen a Wisp do that. Did he do, like, some really clutch tether timing? Like, right as he relocated, he hit the tether? So that it, like, kind of counts and you end up tethering across the map? That's the only thing that I can reason. Yeah, just using the perfect tether. I've never seen a Wisp do that before. I didn't even know you could do that. That's awesome. Why don't people do that? That's so cool. Oh, man. Super with the plays, dude. That was so clutch. That's got to be one of those just Gosu timing things that people try to do, and it's just hard to pull off. Yeah, tether right before the TP. Yeah. That is pretty clutch, though. I can't believe I've casted a lot of Wisp games. I've still never seen someone do that before. Or if they have, I guess I just didn't notice. That's totally possible. Wow. Well, very cool. Well done by the Wisp. That was a good distraction. Jeez. Darkseer, though. Zhao 8, man. He is fat. He's got himself a Scythe of Vice. Newbee with a very small golden experience lead. Nothing insurmountable. Nyx's Assassin has now picked up a Ghost Scepter. Tiny is starting to get huge, though. Morphling's still up on him, but XDD. He's got the Assault Karos now to go with the Manta, so he's hitting hard, and he's hitting he's hitting fast. Toss. Interesting. Very interesting. Roche respawning here in about 10 seconds. So it looks like a fight may break out up top. Rubik still smoked up, actually. And there's a Scythe of Ice now for the Nature's Prophet. Big items coming out all around. We're getting to that point where the golden experience is kind of negligible. Both teams have pretty comparable item pickups here. We've got a lot of initiation. Scythe of Ice on each side. The big difference is the force stabs. Newbee have 3 force stabs and 3 blink daggers. They have so many reposition tools. And in these fights, it just makes it hard for DT to lock them down. I think DT's still at the disadvantage here, but the difference is that they can rat Dota so easily. If Newbee just make one misstep, they can relocate that tiny, TP the Nature's Prophet, and all of a sudden you've got a dead lane of racks. I mean, look how much damage they were able to do to this tier 3 while that last fight was going on. Pretty darn scary for Newbee, even though I think they otherwise would have a pretty solid edge in this game. Now that Roche is respawned, Newbee may scout it out. DT trying to scout it out with the Treants, but it will get picked off before it makes it into the pit. DT just need to be a little bit patient here. They don't need to force the issue. They do have some carry advantage. Well, carry advantage is sort of a wash here. Tiny, Nature's Prophet, and Brew versus the Morphling and the Darkseer. I guess DT actually kind of have the carry edge. Can't even really count Darkseer as a carry, but he is a core hero that scales really well. And, of course, if this continues to go on and we get into that late game, that's where the Wall of Replica really comes in handy. Especially if he gets a Scepter eventually. Oh, boy, those tiny illusions, they'll hurt. They will hurt a lot. So, second Roche, under assault here by Newbee. Looking at the Radiant Vision. They don't have it warded up. They don't know. And it will be uncontested. Looks like they'll be able to finish it off. DT are still in a position to contest. They're pretty nearby. And they're all stationed outside of the pit. They actually won't commit to it. They won't finish him off. And now Newbee will be forced to back out. A little bit of Rat Dota going on here. Tiny Wisp up in the top lane. That'll be the end of the tier 3 tower. The glyph comes out, but oh no, it's a bit of a wasted glyph. The tiny illusions will do a little bit of damage to the racks, but meanwhile in the Roche pit, they'll clear out an illusion, relocate down. Now DT, they want to go for Roche. Can Newbee handle this properly? Moo hops into the pit. AA ultimate flies. Piggy used on XDD. EO first to fall. How with the BKB on, trying to right click down the Nature's Prophet. He'll get sprouted. There's the ultimate coming in. Godlike streak for How. Multiple fights kind of breaking out here. But How's still alive. They'll be able to finish off this Rubik, no problem. And Newbee will clean it up. Now Air. He'll go back into Brewmaster form. And he's not out of the clear yet. Zhao 8 hops forward. Adaptive strike off the mark. But there's the waveform forward. The vacuum on the mark. And that's a dead air. Ultra kill for How. This Morphling is just too big. 6,000 gold. Now Newbee. They'll secure the Roche. And their top lane of racks safe for now. King J as well as Moo making it up top. AA ultimate will fly up to help clear things up. In July, he'll port out. So it looked a little sketchy for Newbee there at first, but in the end, they do come out ahead. They get the Roche. They get the Aegis on Mr. Morphling himself. No big surprise there. Where does he go from here, though? 7,000 gold. He needs a Scotty. Okay, scratch that. He needs BOTs. That's the smart item pickup here. He's out of inventory slots while he has the Aegis. So he gets himself some BOTs. So now he'll be cruising around, TPing all over the place. Scythe of Ice really coming in handy in that last fight. Wow. Newbee are now in pretty good shape. Still, they have that fear of the Rat Dota. This is one of these games where even though Newbee are starting to pull ahead, the gold graph's still pretty even. They've got an experience edge, but 40 minutes. What's 10k experience? Not a hell of a lot. It's more about initiation. It's more about map objectives. And this next fight, if they can get a lane of racks, they'll be in great shape. But it's not over till it's over. When you've got a tiny that's this farm to the Wisp that can just take him into your base, and if creeps are pushing in, they can just destroy the structures so quickly. Rubik. Oh, no. Nyx Assassin looking for the Impale, and oh, jeez, Morphling. He'll just juice him there with the E-Blade. That's an easy kill for Newbee. Right now, this Morphling, 12-0-4. Hao is playing out of his mind this game. Out of control. But here's the relocate up top. In July coming in as well. They're just going straight for the barracks. This is Rat Dota to the extreme. Top lane of barracks are down. Newbee, they'll commit to the push mid. Glyph already popped. They hop forward. That'll be a dead Brewmaster. Epicenter burned as well. Glyph already used. They're going for the tier 3s. How are Newbee going to handle this? In July, still in the base. They'll relocate back. A lot of damage coming out. Buyback from the Brew. Ultimate pop. Trying to repel. Effort successful so far. Newbee still with all 5 alive. Tiny doing some damage. BKB on Hao. He's already popped it, trying to finish off the Wisp. Wisp just tethering around, playing ring around the Rosie. There's the waveform forward. He'll finish off Wisp. Nyx Assassin will fall. That'll proc the Aegis. It's kind of a disaster for Newbee here, though. Buyback from the Nyx. Hao gets sheeped as soon as he comes back from the Aegis. And now he's in trouble. Looking for somewhere to waveform. No, they'll turn it around. He'll finish off the Nature's Prophet. Sand King falls as well. He'll buy back. Tiny just hitting too hard now. Hal, he'll turn and try and go man mode. Moo joining the party. Double Impale. Catches air and XDD. He gets sheeped up. XDD falls. Now he's stuck without a buyback. The only buyback remaining is Hal. Maybe Newbee will get the better of it. Triple kill coming out for Hal. BOT's back. He's got a replicate down, and he'll come back. Tiny, he's bought back. Never mind, he did have that buyback too. He burned it straight away. That's my bad. No Glyph available though. Tier 3 in the mid falls. All of a sudden, this game's getting quite tense, folks. 24-15. Newbee will secure this mid lane of Rax. Nature's Prophet and Brew both dead for another 50 seconds. Morphling back in the party. It's a 5v3 on the field. They'll hop forward. This could be the final push. King J taking a lot of damage. Vacuum forward. They'll finish off Rubik and Wisp. Tiny, the only one left alive. He pops the BKB. Manta out. He'll survive for now, but his base taking heavy damage. There's nothing he can do by his lonesome. Well, there's something, but will it be enough? That granite, craggy motherfucker. Can he do it? One tier 4 down. They don't want the Rax. They're going for the win, and it's the right call. They've got 20 seconds. Tiny throws the avalanche. He just can't do it. It's 1v5. He may be big, but he's not big enough. They'll hop forward. There's the sheep. They zone him out. They'll focus the ancient. And I think Newbee will be able to do it. Burrow strike forward. Tiny taking heavy damage. He falls. That's a full team wipe. Epicenter for good measure. Heroes starting to respawn, but it doesn't matter. Throne's dead. And that'll do it. What a way to end the night in that game. I was falling asleep in the mid-game there, but finally, woo! Now that I'm all revved up, I get to go to sleep. Oh, man. What a way to end that game. And we'll catch over to the real stream. Newbee. They don't even look excited. I love these guys, man. They win games. They're just like, yeah, they're too awesome. They're too gangster. They're too confident. They know. We should have won that. They win it. And well done. How the easy MVP that game. 15-0-10 on that Morphling. He was involved in 25 of the 27 kills they put onto the field. Absolutely ridiculous. That was some of the best Morphling play I think I've ever seen. Just absolutely incredible. I'm very cynical about the current state of that hero, but Hal makes him look good. Well, guys, that wraps up our coverage of WPC tonight. It was a long day, and I solo casted all of it with Roland nearby. So thank you for joining us in between Star Ladder matches. We certainly appreciate it. I see Ice 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 being interviewed by Shiva right now. I'm sure that's quite titillating. Make sure you guys do check out Star Ladder tonight. There are plenty more intense matches, and support our BTS guys over there in Kiev. That wraps it up tonight. We've got WPC again tomorrow night. Another 3 set of best of 3s. Another 7-hour broadcast. Iori is ready. I'm ready for bed. I'm ready to continue casting Chinese Dota. Thank you for joining us, folks. Follow me on Twitter at ZioriTV. Follow Roland at Roland Viper. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.